it's me again. That's right, it's Thursday with Annette. I'm Annette Sim, and I'm in the Simply Too Good kitchen, and I'm going to make a recipe for you today that I have been making for years and years and years. It's actually out of my very first cookbook, so it's an oldie but a goodie, and it's the beef stir fry, the Chinese beef stir fry. So the thing is though, I decided to instead, I'm going to make it out of this book. This one, Cooking for One or Two, because I want to show you how easy it is, because sometimes people, when there's just one or two of you at home, you think, oh, it's too much work to do a stir fry. No, it's not, it's worth it. So it's in this one here, and it's for two. So if you wanted to know, all you have to do is double everything that I'm doing today, and that's for four. That's right. So let's look at the ingredients we need. Now, stir fries, about the veggies. I love them. I love a crisp veggie in a stir fry, and I don't think you should have more than what I've got here. This is where a lot of people go wrong with stir fries. They just put too much in, and you can't taste it all with all the different vegetables. So what we need for this recipe is we've got some rump here, some beautiful, nice, lean rump steak, and we're going to cut them into strips. It's all going to be cut into strips, and this is 225 grams. So if you're making it for four, you would do 450. That's right. Let me check. Yes, 450 for that. So that's your steak. Now you can make it with chicken. I can tell you how to make a vegetarian. I'll talk about that later. And also, if you want to win a cookbook, you can choose this week. Yes, you can choose between the Cooking for One or Two or Book One. And I'll be telling you how to win that at the end of the show, so stay tuned for that. So let's look at the ingredients we need, because I'm excited. I've got my wok here, my nibble and wok, ready to cook this great stir fry. So we've got some ginger and garlic. And of course you can use fresh if you want, but I'm just going to do it easy. We've got some red capsicum, mushrooms, bok choy. I've got some broccoli florets, snow peas and shallots. So there's your veggies. And don't put any more in than this, okay? That's enough. And then you'll taste all the different veggies in it as well. But to make this flavoursome, this is the key, we're looking at low salt products to really support you with your health and well-being. So we've got the low salt soy sauce. I've got some hoisin sauce here, a little bit of sugar, and it's interesting when you put a bit of sugar in a stir fry because it just smooths it up. It just, I don't know, it's just the sweet and salty thing. It's really good. We've also got some white wine. We only need a tablespoon for this, so we always have a little bottle, and we're near the end of this one if you can have a look, but we always have a bottle of white wine, dry white wine in the fridge ready to cook. And I'll tell you, if you don't want to do that, how you change it. And I've also got some corn flour here to thicken it up, some beef stock powder and some water. And of course I've got my trusty Neoflam spray. And this is the rice bran. Okay, Bill's just saying, make sure you say rice bran because this is what you need for the Neoflam. So what I might do first is let's get the meat cooking up and then we can be prepping the veggies. I like to be multitasking when we cook. So thanks for joining me today. Very excited to be cooking this for you because I love stir fries. And who doesn't? Australians love it. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut the lean rump into strips. All right, so remember this is for two. It's a bit thick there. So just into strips. Now you can swap it if you want to use chicken breast. And so it's a chicken stir fry. And for vegetarian, you just add some more veggies to the mix and don't put the protein in. I mean, you could always chop a bit of tofu in as well if you really liked. But what's the key to a good stir fry? And I'm going to show you. One is not doing 100 vegetables. I remember Bill made stir fry once and he basically used up the whole of our vegetable tray in this wok. And it was just, I couldn't taste anything. It was crazy. So I've learned from that. So, you know, it's really good to just embrace a few veggies and enjoy them. So let's fire up the wok. Let's do the cooking spray. Now in the pan we're going to put half a teaspoon of ginger and half a teaspoon of garlic. And this will be fantastic to saute with the steak. And it'll really bang up the flavours. If you don't like ginger, well then put more garlic in. If you don't like garlic, put more ginger in. All right. So we're going to put that in the pan. And this is where I'm wanting this to heat up. And then slowly I'm putting the meat in the wok. I want to keep that sizzle going the whole time that I'm adding this meat. It's beautiful and lean. So we've used rump steak. And the key for this is to not overcook it. So I'm going to put my hands over here into the soapy water. Just give that a wash. And I'm going to turn my gorgeous watermelon chopping board over for the veggies. Don't you love that it's double-sided? Okay. Now, while this is cooking, I'll prep up the veggies. But the steak won't take too long because it's not real thick steak. But push those together with that garlic and the ginger. And once that steak is just cooked, okay, just cooked, I will take it out of the wok and we add it in later. So there's tip 2. Tip 1 was don't overload all the veggies. Tip 2 is don't have your steak cooking the whole way through a stir fry. Cook your protein first and then add it later. And that way then your steak is going to be beautiful and tender and moist. Fabulous. All right, let's prep up. We need a measure cup, half a cup I need. And so it's super easy. I might actually cut these mushrooms in half. And we want half a cup. So it's super easy and packed with some really great vegetables. So it's nice and healthy. So I've used 2 mushrooms here and I think I'm pretty well done. How's that steak going? Really watch your steak because it won't take long to cook. It's nearly ready. All right, so where's my bowl? Here we are. In my bowl, I'm going to just add all of the ingredients that I need for the stir fry because the mushrooms, oh, and actually the mushrooms go in later, don't they? But what goes in first is the capsicum because they take a little bit longer to cook. Oh, our meat's cooked, I think. Yep. All right, so let's get the bowl. I'm going to now put the steak into here. There we go. Turn that off for a minute and just put that to the side. And that will be added later. See, it's going to be lovely and tender. But for now, we want half a cup of red capsicum. I've already cut up the shallots, so they're 1/4 cup of shallots because I thought there's a bit of chopping here, so I didn't want to be here all day with you. I thought you'll get bored. So half a cup of capsicum. There we go. So that goes in with the broccoli. Now I'm going to start cooking that. So I'm going to turn my pan back on, respray, and let's cook these off first because they do take a little bit longer than the other vegetables to do. There we go. So we're just going to cook them off for a minute. Now, the other vegetables we have are snow peas. And when you're doing snow peas, you just take off the little husk and you pull it off. You want to make sure you do that. You don't want to have that because it makes it tough. There we go. I've done a few ahead, so they're fine. So that goes in with the mushrooms. And it's, oh no, I've got to measure them, haven't I? Look at me rushing ahead. We want half a cup. Now, it might be a little bit hard to work out how do you do half a cup of snow peas are. So you could choose to cut your snow peas in half if you wanted. But today I want to keep them whole. So I'm going to just do a guesstimate. You know what? I'm going to put them all in. How many is there? Let's check. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. Okay, let's do 8 because then we get 4 each. Otherwise, I'll fight over that one with Bill. Put that in some salad or something. And this is what's great about the cooking for 1 or 2 or the more cooking 1 or 2 recipe books because they just take such little time to cook and prepare because you're using so much less ingredients. Now we want a half a cup of bok choy. So I'm going to just chop off that end bit. And it's really roughly chopped. So I might only need probably a couple of, because I want a bit of the white stalk in there as well. Let's have a look. So it's a very good Chinese recipe. Yeah, look, that's good. Let's just put a little bit of more green in, and we are good. All right, so that's all our chopping done. Let's bring it over. All right, so now what we do is we add in all the other veg. So that's the bok choy, snow peas, mushrooms. Let's throw the shallots in. And that was 1/4 cup of shallots sliced. There we go. So it's a beautiful vegetable stir. Now the thing is with these stir fries is, as I said, you could make it with chicken or you could do it with the beef as I'm doing today, or, you know, just vegetarian. But what the tip here is really good is the Australian Dietary Guidelines recommend that lean red meat is eaten 3 times a week, providing iron for oxygen transport throughout the body. How fantastic is that? But you know what, if you wanted to make it like a vegetarian, then add in some celery. I think it's just celery. Let me just check. Where is it? Oh yes, you want 1/2 cup of celery and 1/2 cup of carrots, and you've then got a really nice vegetarian stir fry. All right, so now we're going to add in the flavours. So this is fantastic because you want to keep your veggies a bit crisp. You don't want to make them soft. That's the worst thing in the world. So we're going to start with all the different lovely sauce things that make this come alive. So start off with 2 teaspoons of the low salt soy sauce. 1, 2. We're going to put in a tablespoon of white wine. Let's get that right. Oh, take the lid off, Annette. Tablespoon of white wine. Now, if you don't want to put wine in it, just add a bit of water, and maybe then what you could do is add in a little bit more stock powder, just to help with the flavour. But because that's steam, that's all the alcohol coming off now. This is the hoisin sauce, very important ingredient, very good in Chinese stir fries, that's for sure. Really kicks up the flavour. Let's give that a stir. Beautiful. Now we're going to put in the sugar, teaspoon of sugar, which will really help balance it all up. 1/2 teaspoon of the beef stock powder. And as I said, if you didn't want to do the wine, then just maybe make it a teaspoon. But make sure you put that tablespoon of water in. Okay, now we're doing the corn flour. You can see it's very quick, it's very easy. And this is, remember, this is enough for 2. So we're going to put in 2 teaspoons of corn flour. Let's whisk it up. Have I got everything in? Yes. All I've got to do now is make up the sauce, and then we just add the beef back in at the last minute. You know, this takes less time than cooking your rice, by the way. And I always serve the basmati rice because it's a lower GI, it's much healthier for you. And this is just a great, look, I love stir fries. I have so many stir fries. I was thinking to add them up for you, but truly, there's so many. Every book has got a few stir fries in them. And check, you know, even if you're vegetarian, check the chicken stir fries or the beef stir fries, because this had a vegetarian version in it. Hello? Okay, in we go. This is where really important that you add the beef just at the end, coating with this beautiful sauce. Well, this looks awesome. And it will heat up really quickly. Oh, I've left a piece of meat. Waste not, want not. I've got a bowl here ready to go. I've got some basmati rice in it. Now, this is enough for 2, remember. If you wanted to, you could make it out of book 1, and that way you would get double the amount. It freezes really well, remember, and the fat count for the rump is 6.1. The chicken is only 2.4, and the veggie is only 0.4. So it's fantastic. So here we go. This is the beautiful beef stir fry out of Cooking for 1 or 2. There we go. Let's get a bit of extra sauce. There we go. Oh my gosh, who knew weight loss could be so deliciously healthy? It's just yum. If you could smell it, I've got my chopsticks ready to go, that's for sure. Now, if you would like to win, this is what you've got to do. If you want to win, you can choose between Cooking 1 or 2 or Book 1, because that recipe's in both. Let me grab my little bit of paper. Here we go. You like, you share, and then in the comments you write hashtag simply with a Y, too good. Hashtag simply too good. Write that in and I will notify 3 fabulous people that win of the week, the winners of the week. And we also put a post in on Wednesday next week of who are those winners, so you can catch up with it as well. Now, next week's show is going to be so much fun because it's a recipe I've never made on the show before, and I'm super excited because it is one of my absolute favorites. I think I say that a lot, but this one really is, and it's out of book 7 in the gluten-free section, and it's raspberry friands. If you love a friand at the bakery or at the cafe, full of fat, but not my way. One of the easiest recipes you'll ever make, and I've got a couple little suggestions to go with it, so you'll learn how to make a beautiful homemade friand next week. So here we go. We're done and dusted. Remember to go to simplytoogood.com.au for any more tips or recipes. You can check it all out there. And thank you for joining me today. Beef stir fry, done and dusted. See you next time. Bye.